It's been a while since I've last made a video about being a highly sensitive person, and I did a series on it last year where I covered a lot of stuff about it, so if you're interested I will link that playlist right here and in the description. And for this video, the request I got most from you guys is how do I talk about being a highly sensitive person? How do I explain it to people who don't know what it is or what it's like? And there are a lot of misconceptions out there about HSP, so I totally understand this question. Some people don't really know what it actually is, and they might think that we are just being weak or being difficult and that we need to toughen up. And because of that, unfortunately, a lot of highly sensitive people grow up thinking that there's something wrong with them and who they are, and that can be very challenging. And of course, there's nothing wrong with you, and these people don't actually think that. Often they just miss a certain type of information to form an accurate picture. So that's what we're going to get into today in this video, so you can explain in a short and confident way what it is and what it's like. Now, for those of you who don't know what being a highly sensitive person actually means, let me quickly explain what it is. And if you already know this and you want to go straight to the explanation and how to talk about it with people, then you can skip this part. But if you're a little fuzzy on the details, then this background can help a lot. Alright, so around 15% of all people can be considered a highly sensitive person. And being highly sensitive does not mean that you're too sensitive, or you cry all the time, or you can't deal with life, or you get panicked whenever something doesn't go your way. Being a highly sensitive person has everything to do with our nervous system, and it is something that some people are born with, so it's not a choice. And our nervous system can register all kinds of stimuli, and these are things that are happening both inside and outside of our body. And that information then gets sent to our brain, which is also a part of our nervous system. And it is because of that nervous system that we are able to feel and sense stuff. It also causes us to think about what we're sensing and have emotions about it. So this nervous system has a kind of setting or a scale to it, and around 15% of all people have a more sensitive nervous system than others. So it is set at a more sensitive level, and it registers everything, again, both inside and outside of the body much more strongly because of it. So it's kind of like how a dog has a stronger sense of smell than humans. HSPs kind of have a stronger sense of everything all the time. Their taste is stronger, they see in more detail, they feel emotions more strongly, they hear sounds more loudly, they feel pain more quickly, etc. It's something that we cannot turn off, so just toughening up will never work on highly sensitive people. And I'm not trying to act like highly sensitive people are kind of like super people. We have superpowers, that's not it. It's everything to do with our nervous system being set at a more sensitive level than others. So now that we've had a refresher on what it means, let's talk about how to explain being a highly sensitive person to people who either don't know what it is or who have some misconceptions about it and they think that we just need to toughen up. Now, I have a confession to make. When I first found out that I was a highly sensitive person, a lot of things changed for the better for me because I started to learn about it, I started to read about it, and in the process I learned a lot about myself and how to take better care of myself. So I'm really thankful that I found out about being a highly sensitive person. But before that, I also had some misconceptions about it. I had heard the term before in passing, and I never thought that it could have such a big impact on a person's life because I just didn't have all the information. So in learning more about it, I eventually came to understand everything that it entails. And so one of the things I think is important in explaining it is doing so in a very clear, kind of analytical, non-emotional way, so that people can first start to let go of any misconceptions. And of course, you can also include some personal examples as well. I also think it's important to talk about it not just in a negative way, but also in a positive way, because being a highly sensitive person has many benefits as well as challenges. And so if you only mention the things that are difficult for you, you might be giving off the wrong impression, like it's some kind of illness, like I have HSP, or it's an affliction, or we need to be cured from it or medicated for it. And that's totally not the case. So I think it's important to talk about the benefits as well and the talents that you may have because of it. So I'm gonna go over a few things that I feel are important to include in your explanation when you're going to talk about it with others, which I totally think you should, by the way. The first is that high sensitivity means that our nervous system, which registers everything happening inside and outside of the body, is naturally more sensitive to all stimuli, and we process everything much more deeply because of it. The second is that HSP is a trait that we are born with, and around 15% of all people can be categorized as a highly sensitive person. And even in the animal kingdom, having a more sensitive nervous system than others has been seen among animals as well. And there are many studies done on this trait. It is not seen as an illness or an affliction or something we need to be cured from. HSPs have many things to offer the world. Third is that being highly sensitive doesn't mean that we are crybabies or overly emotional. We are more emotionally sensitive than others, but we are more sensitive to all stimuli, much like sound and light and smells and tastes. So watching a sad movie will probably impact us more strongly, but that doesn't mean that we are unstable or that people have to walk on eggshells around us. The fourth thing is that overstimulation can overwhelm us, and it is basically the only real downside to being a highly sensitive person. Because we pick up on so many details all the time, it can easily be too much at times. So we frequently need time to process everything, preferably alone, and we are more likely to get tired or even burnt out if we don't take enough downtime. And the last thing we want to include in our explanation is that being a highly sensitive person comes with many benefits. Like I said earlier, we can experience life more strongly, more deeply. We have a lot of talents because of it, like bigger empathy, more creativity, strong intuition, and a high level of sensory detail. So if you want to learn more about the benefits of being a highly sensitive person, then you can watch this video right here where I explain them. It is an old video, but the points are still very valid. If you include these things in your explanation, then it can give a really accurate picture of what it's actually like. And then you can also include some personal examples as well if there's time and if you feel like you want to. It can also help to let someone imagine what it's like for themselves. So you could say something like this. Imagine being in a cave for 3 months and the cave is very dark and quiet. And all of a sudden you leave the cave and you walk through a very busy, loud city. You would experience everything very strongly, and that's kind of what it's like for HSPs all the time. One thing I also think can really help is sharing some resources on this topic with the people that you're closest to. For example, reading the book The Highly Sensitive Person by Dr. Elaine Aron, I will link it down below, has greatly helped me to understand why I am the way I am. And so it might be a good idea to let your partner or your parents or your closest friends read it as well. I will also link some YouTube videos that I found very helpful in the description, so maybe you can share them with your family and your friends. And of course, this video could also really help to share it with the people that you're closest to. Sometimes talking about it with people can seem a little daunting. Maybe there's not enough time or you forget what it is you want to say. And in those times, sharing a video can actually really be very helpful. Watch this video where I talk about my life as a highly sensitive person, and watch this video to find out if you are highly sensitive too. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and as always, questions, comments, conversations down below. I will see you all soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.